Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Junior Golf Podcast. I'm your host, Ro Thompson. Man, we got a special guest on the podcast tonight. And man, I can't wait to interview her. She has been doing some amazing things on the links. And so without any further delay, I want to bring up my special guest, Bella Flores. Hey, Bella, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good to have you on the podcast tonight.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Good. But listen, I know you're in a different time zone, so hopefully we didn't take too much practice time from you.
Oh, okay.
Good. Well, before we get into a lot of the questions about golf, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Bella Flores, and I'm 16 years old, and I'm a sophomore at Kingwood High School. I'm actually on the golf team at Kingwood High School, and I've been playing golf for around 6-7 years now.
Okay.
Competitively, I started playing when I was 8.
Okay.
And some of my hobbies include I like to travel, shop, and cook. And
Good. Now, what's your favorite dish to cook?
I like making spaghetti.
That's my favorite. You should have never said spaghetti. That's like my weakness. I love some spaghetti now. I tell you.
Yeah,
Good. Well, listen, tell us how you got into this game of golf.
Okay, so this is a very funny story. So I was sitting in my living room and I was watching, I think it was I don't remember what it was, but a commercial came on, and then it's a commercial of Rory McIlroy, and he was hitting off a building, and it was one of those Rolex commercials.
Yes.
And I was 7 at the time, and I was like, oh my God, that looks like so much fun. And I was like, I want to try that. And so then I bugged my dad, and I was like, Dad, I want to play golf. That looks like so much fun. And he was like, so my family is huge into basketball. And so
Okay.
He was like, oh, you're crazy. You're playing basketball. There's no way you're playing golf. No one in my family before me had ever played golf.
Right.
And so when he did that, he thought I was crazy. And he was like, Bella, he was stereotyping golf. And he was like, Bella, that's for old people. You're not supposed to. What? No.
Right.
And so I kept bugging him for about 2 months. And then finally he took me out, and he said that he wasn't going to buy me a whole set. So he just bought me a 7-iron. And I remember it had one of those little grips already on the club.
Yes.
So he got me one of those, and then we went to the course, and he took me to the driving range, and I just start hitting the golf ball. It was crazy. I was just making contact. And so and he bought himself, actually, ironically, he bought himself a whole nice bag with all brand new clubs, and he couldn't even hit the ball.
Wow.
And so then he was like, Bella, you're hitting it. And I was like, yeah, I know. And then from there, I ended up loving it. And then I started taking lessons. And so that's how everything started, all because of a commercial.
Right. Wow. That's amazing. That is a funny story. Just from Rory McIlroy hitting the ball off of a building got you interested in that.
I thought I was going to be doing that. So that's what got me. I guess the commercials worked. So.
Right. So what's been some of your most memorable moments as a junior golfer?
Okay, so actually I just made a very memorable moment the other day. This was at the Kingwood golf course. I was playing in a high school tournament, and I hole out for an eagle from 60 yards, and then I'm having a really good round, and then well, at first I got off to a really rocky start. I bogeyed the first hole, and then I bogeyed the third hole, and then I hole out for eagle on that hole, so I'm back to even, and I was like, okay. And then I birdied another one, and then on the 9th hole I birdied another one, and I was like, okay, I'm 2 under right now, and so then I make the turn, I birdie 10, and so I'm 3 under, and I'm like, okay, it's going pretty good, and so I'm keeping my composure, and then I get to hole, I think 14, it was par 5, end up bogeying it.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's golf.
And then hole 16 comes around, and I end up making a hole-in-one, my first hole-in-one ever. And so it was just I was on top of the clouds, I was playing so good. And then that happened, and then I go on and make 2 more birdies. So I ended up being 6 under, so that was my personal best.
Wow. So you shot 66?
Yes, sir. Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's that.
Another memorable moment would be, well, there's like every single time I travel, like I just want to, so I think that's really important. I get to travel with my dad, and like we get to see different places. Like we just saw the Golden Gate Bridge, and that was a lot of fun. So just like making those little memories with like my family when we go on trips, that's also pretty memorable.
Good. Now you got to keep your 66 streak going now, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Don't be disappointed in the next round. Now, we've been following you a lot on social media. Didn't you just qualify to go to the state tournament?
Yes, that's actually going to be Monday, Tuesday. So I just qualified for that. And I also just qualified when I was in San Francisco. I just qualified for the Callaway World Championship. So that should be fun too.
Congratulations. That's a big deal. Our son just qualified for the state. So I know it's a really good feeling to qualify. So tell us a little bit about your practice routine. What's Bella's practice schedule like, weekly, daily? Give us, bring us into the world of your practice routine.
Okay, so every week my coach, first off, so every week we play Monday and Wednesdays. We always play Monday, Wednesdays. Sometimes we'll try Fridays, but usually Monday, Wednesdays.
Okay.
So Mondays we usually go out and play 9 holes, and then afterward I or the team, usually depends, but usually I go to the range and I work on whatever I need to that my coach and I were working on before, and I take some swing video, send it to him, and then usually when I'm hitting balls, I like to focus on like 2 or 3 clubs each day.
Okay,
and
that's good.
Pick different targets, shoot it with my rangefinder, pick very specific yardages, and work on those.
Great.
I always putt.
Putt. Right.
And I go to the green, and I focus a lot on 5-footers, very heavily on 5-footers, and then I'll work on around 15, 20-footers.
Okay, right.
And then Tuesdays, that's when we usually go to the range, work on chipping. I like to set up like these rings. So my coach do there's like these 5-foot rings, and we put them around the green, and we chip. We have to make 10 to 15 in each of the 5-foot circles, different holes.
Right.
And every wedge, we also do a hybrid, and we also do an iron.
Okay.
And so we do that, and then usually I'll go back to putting and do the same thing. And then Wednesdays, we usually play. Then after that, Thursdays, we do the range, and then that day I really focus on putting because we get out of school later usually that day, so we don't have that class period because we do off day. So
okay.
I usually work on putting a lot that day, and I do speed drills. Another drill I like to do is around the world, and I like that one.
Putting, right? Yes.
Yeah. And then I also like to do the drill that goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you have to make all 5 from 3 foot, and then 4, and you can miss one from like 6 feet, and then goes back on to like 20 feet. So I like to do that putting drill a lot. And speed drills also are very, very important to me.
Good.
And then also every day I do 100 putts before I go to bed. I have a putting mat upstairs. And
is that the perfect putter? Is that the perfect putting mat?
Yes. Yeah, I love that putting mat. Yeah. And then
it's a good mat.
I also have like some putting tools that I like to use
to
work my stroke. And I also have like my putting mat. I can put like slope on it, which is kind of cool. So I can work it on, like, if I just had a tournament and I missed all of them on the low side, then I like to heavily put the slope on and make sure I'm on the high side, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Well, listen, you've pretty much laid out a what I would call an excellent practice routine, just from the putting and just working with 2 or 3 clubs, and I think that's really great. And I'll tell you and your dad about something that we experienced in Jupiter a couple of weeks ago, but I'll save that up for off the air. Now, when did you know, Bella, that you had what it takes to be a really good junior golfer? Do you remember what age you were about?
I think it was after the World Championship that I competed in when I was 9 and 10.
Okay.
So I competed there, the IMG World Championship, and
Okay.
I think I didn't play very well, but like something inside of me kind of clicked because I saw all these girls and guys from like around the world, and I saw
Yeah.
like, you know, I can hang, and like,
Right.
and so I saw them and I saw how motivated and good they were, and
Mm-hmm.
like something kind of clicked, and I was like, okay, like if I start like really putting in the time and effort now, like I can progress and become a really good golfer. And so that's kind of what I did. And like seeing them and their families and like their coaches, some coaches were there too supporting them. I think that just made me fall more in love with the game. So I think that's really when. But another time I would say is like under pressure. Like once I started seeing that I could maintain myself and
Mm-hmm.
calm down under pressure, that's kind of when I was like, okay, like if you can do that, like you should be set, because golf is such a mental game.
That's exactly right. Now, do you remember when you start beating your dad?
Oh, I don't even want to say this, but I think I started beating him when I was like right off the bat. I would say when I really, really started beating him was when
Right.
we played Disney World for a family vacation, and he took me out to one of the courses, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, Bella, like since we're at Disney World, like let's bet $100." So I already had $100 of my own that my grandma gave
Wow.
me to Disney, and
Yeah,
then
that's
he was like, "I'll give you another $100, or you can lose those $100 to me." And I was like, "Okay." So then we're betting, and then I think we played 9 holes, and he was like, okay, so 9 holes, and you have to give me like what was it, like 8 or 10 strokes, something like that. And I was like, okay. And so then
right.
like I shouldn't have given him that many strokes now thinking about it, but
Right.
the hole like completely goes out of bounds, and I was like, oh god. He does that like 3 more times. It's like, I got this, like
Yeah.
this is a bag. And then I ended up winning. So
In the bag, right? So speaking of in the bag, tell us what's in Bella's bag. You know, as far as like driver, 3-wood, irons. You know, what clubs you play with. Give us a little details.
So I have a Callaway driver. I have the Epics
Okay.
and the Woods, and then I have for irons and wedges I play Ping,
Ping.
and
Oh, so you play Ping irons and Callaway driver?
I do, yes.
Gotcha.
We're kind of right now we're in the road, maybe just switching. We're not sure yet. We're trying to see how the summer goes, and then maybe getting a new set of clubs. But I absolutely love the Epic Callaway Woods and they're my favorite. So I probably won't change those, but we'll see.
So we'll see, right?
And my putter is actually custom putter is Low Tide.
Okay.
I love my putter. I've had it since I was 8, and I refuse to change because
You don't want to change that, huh?
So, and then I guess I also have a first aid kit, and I have a bunch of tees, ball markers, golf balls, my yardage book, range finder.
Right.
I think I have some perfume and deodorant in case after the round.
Now, do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite ball marker?
I would have to say the Masters one that a friend actually gifted me a few years ago. I love that ball marker. It's like good luck, so I always wear it.
Right. Now what yardage books do you use?
I use these. They're like the slope range. Slope yardage.
Is it Stracaline? No.
They're Golf Logics.
Golf Logic. Yes. Gotcha. Okay, we use Decade, so I didn't know if you was a Decade user or not. You know, so all right. So what do you have coming up tournament wise that you're really looking forward to over the summer?
I have the Nota Begay tournament at Kingwood, actually, the regional qualifier, and I also have the Texas Mexico Cup. Absolutely love that tournament. I played it since I started.
Okay.
And That's a very fun tournament. It's not ranked or anything, but like I always make sure to keep it in my schedule because it's such a fun tournament.
Right.
It's like match play. It's kind of like
okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And then I just got accepted to the National First Tee Championship. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations. That's huge.
I also got I'm also playing in the Bubba Conley Invitational, the California World Championship, the Northern Junior Championship, and I'm also playing in the underrated regional tournament to try to qualify.
Big. So well, you got a busy summer plan, right?
Oh, I don't think I have like I may have like one day here or there, like, but that's it.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're gonna be busy. Now, who's your favorite golfer? Female, male? Who's your favorite all-time golfer?
I would have to say I'm a little biased, but that's Jordan Spieth, because he grew up here and I've like watched him progress as a golfer since like he was really young, and so I also got to at a clinic, and he called on me to like do a demonstration, and so I thought that was really cool, and so I like him.
There you go. Yeah, he just won a couple of tournaments here recently too, so he's playing really good. Yeah. All right, so where's your dad? Is your dad close by?
He's right over here.
Let bring dad in for a second. I just want to, as a dad. Hey, what's up? What's up, Rich? Hey, listen, we just want to say, man, we're really proud of what Bella's been doing over the last couple of years. What are you most excited about as far as this junior golf journey? What do you see?
I mean, I really see her hard work and dedication, right? And just at an early age, I saw her just passionate about golf. Yeah. And some kids, you see that at an early age or later on, right? But some kids, they don't find that till their early adulthood and so forth. But she found that passion at such a young age.
That's good.
It's cool to see her doing that, right? And like she mentioned, we're not golfers in my family at all. She's the first golfer. Yeah, we're hoopers, Right. So, for her to come out a golfer is just we're learning the ropes per se, right? Golf experience and tournaments. It's a lot of different ways you can go about it, right? There's not one correct way, or there's not a wrong way or right way, right? So I'm just really excited to see her these next 2 years, right? Because she's a sophomore now, and she's progressing very well in her golf career. So we'll see where it leads her to. It's what I tell her is stepping stones. You can't try to jump and go further than where you can reach, right? So we're very goal oriented in our family. So she's good. We put instill that in her. So we set goals for every season. We set goals on a weekly basis on her game.
Beautiful.
So that's something that helps her stay committed as well, right? And kind of show her those little goals that she can come in and achieve, right? Without being disappointed, because golf, it's a hard game.
Right? You don't have to tell me. I mean, I know my son was
a lot of disappointment, right? It's a lot of
a lot of tears on the way coming back from a tournament.
So those little goals that you can make, and what I've learned as a parent, golf dad, you can say, right?
Yeah.
Setting those little goals so she can achieve them and have that success, even though that she might not win the tournament or she could be in contention and loses it because of 2 holes and so forth. Right. So, those little things on, hey, let's focus on these 3 holes. If you par those, that's the goal, right?
Right.
So just things like that, playing mental games within the mental game.
There you go. Well, listen, I know what you go through, Rich, and I commend you. Is like you said, it's a lot of ups and downs, and even though as a dad, we're frustrated if they're playing bad, but at the end of the day, we still got to encourage them because we don't want them to quit. So we got to encourage them and lift them up and tell them it's going to be okay. We just got to work on the things that's causing the scores to not be where it needs to be. So I understand your plight, and I sympathize with you. I understand what you're going through.
I got a funny story real quick.
Go ahead.
When she was at Little Linksters, STPJ Little Linksters, right? We were still able to caddy. So I was her caddy. And we, of course, daddy caddy and so forth. We were getting arguments and, doing this and that. And
he would always tell me something and be completely opposite. I'm like, nope, I'm not listening.
Hey, Bella, how many times you fired Dad?
That's the first time she fired me, right? She fired me that one tournament.
He was so mad. He like didn't want to speak to me, and I was like, sorry.
So she fired me off the bag.
Right.
We get home, right? She talks to mommy, right? Mommy's like, well, I'll caddy for you.
Right.
So mom caddies for her for the next 3 tournaments, and she does very well.
Oh,
so my wife
see?
is like, you see, I'm just here to support,
I'm the best.
Yeah. So then the championship comes up after 3 tournaments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Bella goes to my wife and says, you know what? I'm sorry, but I'm going to have Dad caddy for me. So she fired Mom and had me come back because it was a big championship.
Right. Rehired, right?
But after that, I started noticing that she really could do it by herself, right?
Yeah.
And I think that also was a huge turning point because he did let me like start figuring out my game like so early when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I have more confidence in what I do. Like I don't have to rely on someone else, and like I know my game and how I play. So, and it's also like he can watch me, but like only I know what I'm truly doing. So like I think that also really helped me progress as a player.
Yeah, because there's some players that we grew up with right now. Mm-hmm. Their dad did everything for them, and they're struggling right now because they're still finding their game.
Yeah.
While she struggled, a lot at first and found her game earlier, right? So that I think that's something that a lot of golf parents need to do, just kind of let them go. Even though it's if they're passionate about it, they will find their game and continue to do it.
That's right. Good. So listen, Dad, thank you, man. Thank you for allowing Bella to be on the podcast tonight. We've got a live audience that may want to ask a question or two. But Bella, tell everybody how we can reach you on social media. So
my Instagram and my Twitter is Bella Flores Golf. So if you just type that in, then you'll find me.
Find you. Okay, you on it?
Facebook. What's my Facebook? It's the same thing as my Facebook. So
same thing as Facebook. Okay, so Facebook and Instagram.
And Twitter.
And Twitter. No TikTok.
No golf TikTok.
No golf TikTok. Right. I know all the kids on TikTok right now, and
Yeah, so I'm thinking about making one.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool. That's the hottest thing right now is the TikTok era. So Bella, let's open up the lines. I'm gonna see if any of our guests have any questions. So give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can clear the lines. Okay, so if you have any questions for Bella, just unmute and you can jump right in, everybody. Go right ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Bella and Dad? Thanks for being on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you there. Go right ahead.
Okay. So Bella, tell me what are your long-term goals in the game of golf?
Bella, you're muted. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So one of my main goals right now, I would say, is getting a scholarship and getting into a good school for golf. And then after that, seeing how college golf is and everything. Right now, the goal would be to turn pro or do something related to golf. So that would be another huge goal of mine. Another goal of mine that I have in mind is winning state individually. I think that would be awesome. And yeah, I think that's the main 3 right now.
Good.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions for Bella?
Yeah,
Who's that?
Hey, this is
Kalani.
Corey. Yeah.
What's up? What's up, Corey?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Thanks, Ro, for holding this. It's good to see you again, Bella, and Rich, and Dad. Tell Dad we said hi. I'm sure he's busy in the background. I had a question for Bella. So, do you want to ask her?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
What putter do you use?
What?
Putter.
What?
Putter? It's called Low Tide. So it's like a customized putter, and I had to do like this whole test, and then they made this putter for me.
Oh wow! So
they made that putter for me when I was 8, and I've still had it, and I love it. So
It has little outsole.
it has so when I was 9, I customized my putter, and it has like these like little owls and like flowers, because at the time that's what I was into, and I still have it. Or like, why do you have that? And it's like, oh well, I've had it since I was 8. So
that's cool, really cool. So it's the brand is called Low Tide.
Low Tide, yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
That is
All right.
North Carolina.
Yeah, you better hold on to that putt, Bella. You're making a lot of putts right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of chip ins too.
That's for sure. I had a quick question too, as well. When and this is for Dad or you, but when is a critical time that you think would be good to go heavier on the 2-day tournaments? I know 8. So we're just coming out of the 8-year-old, age, and Kai is turning 9, but we're also seeing that longer distance and, having those little bit of struggles to try to reach the green in 2, but it's coming along. But when would you say the time?
So I'll answer it personally. So personally, I would say I started when I was like 10 or 11, because I started doing not like big tournaments, but they were like local tournaments, like the Beltway Tour. So I started doing those. And at first it was a struggle, because playing 18 holes when you're 10 by yourself, because at that point I was playing in the older division. And so at that point you're not allowed with caddies or anything. So that was kind of a struggle, but I think now it really benefited me, like having the endurance and learning what it was like to be, so that when I did get to those big tournaments, it was like a lot easier. So personally, I would say around 10 or 11 personally, but yeah.
So I think the biggest thing there is the focus, right? Like actually started playing 18 holes when she was at 10, but she was playing the 9 holes and practicing kind of 18, right? But really she would lose focus around that 11th and 12th hole.
Yes.
That is, they can keep that 9 holes, right? And then that 10th, 11, and then they're gone, right? Then when do you win tournament? On the last 3 to 4 holes, right? So you have to have focus on that.
So technically, it kind of depends on the player.
The player, exactly.
Yeah. So like their focus.
Right. So I would say play not tournaments right now. Just have her play by herself, right? Try to play as much 18 and see when her focus starts settling in, right? And then just play some mental games around that 11th and 12th hole, right? And maybe not do drives, do chips and putts around that, or do 50 yards in, right? And have her say this, you need to do 3, on every hole for the next 4 holes, right? Try to do that. So,
and I think another drill that also really helped me was like hitting. So I would purposely miss the green. Like I would purposely miss the green, and I would purposely try to like land it in a bunker, and then and then I would try to get up and down from there. So I think that also helped a lot, because you're not always going to hit the green. So I think that's also a good game that you could.
We'd play mishits, right? I would tell her, because she's a very straight, ball, right?
Yeah.
So like, always on the fairway and you're hitting greens. I said, but
when I get in those positions where I'm not, I struggle a little bit. So that's a very good game to play.
Yeah.
So you pretty much get a lot of practice at 18 holes before you go in those 2-day, and then definitely see where the attention span is. As you see, Kai is kind of fidgety.
That's all right. Yeah,
Yeah, but that's good. That's good advice. Thank you for that. So
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions for Bella and Dad?
We've got one.
Okay, go ahead.
How many feet do you do on your perfect putting mat?
How many? Okay, so I have my putting mat goes 3 feet, 6 feet, and then I think 9 feet or like 8 feet around there. So usually I like to focus on 6-footers because that's where I notice that I miss, and like those pressure putts are around 6-footers. So I usually do 100 there. Sometimes I'll switch it up and do 3-footers one night. Then I'll go back. I'll do like 25 9-footers, then like 30 6-footers, and then the rest 3-footers. So depends on what I've missed the past few tournaments and what I need to work on. So, but usually 6-footers, I would say.
You know,
So
one thing
Bella, do you try to do 100 putts a night?
Yes, 100 putts.
That's good.
And one thing I did when she was very early was, you know, with the younger kids, right, is do pressure putts, right? Play those games on the green, you know, and sometimes she would come out, you know, crying because they were pressure putts and, you know, so forth. But now when she gets over a putt, right,
I feel a lot more calm.
she's calm. She knows how to handle the pressure, right? So,
Gotcha.
you know, sometimes you got to be tough love a little bit on the greens with them, you know, but it's showing them how to handle the pressure, right?
But they have to have consequences too, because he would always make me like do like 20 push-ups or like we would say we would go get ice cream and he'd be like, oh, no more ice cream if you don't miss this or if you don't make this.
I love it. That's
all right. So I'm not the only one. I thought that did. So Kyle, push-ups.
So is she doing push-ups when she gets home, or is she doing the push-ups out there?
Oh, right there, right then and there.
There we go.
I still do it to this day. You know?
Yeah.
I do have a question. So as far as being competitive, when did you get more competitive against your peers? Do you play against par? Or do you play against the people that you're playing against, or how does that go?
This is a good question. So I have always been competitive, like always. But I would say when I really noticed that I was competitive was there was this one girl that I could never beat. I could never beat her growing up. And I just remember like every tournament I would be so upset and I just wanted to beat her so bad. And then like I worked my butt off and then finally like I beat her. And then after that, like I was like, she's never beating me again. And so just like having that drive. So I think that's kind of like a situation, but another situation now looking at it, for my game, I don't compete against the field because I think a girl could have a really good day. Like it's just very circumstantial. And so I like to play against the course. So like before rounds, I'll be like, okay, this whole like I'm definitely going to par it, or I'll give myself like this hole you can bogey it at most. Like this is a bogey hole, or oh, this is definitely a pin since I know where it's going to be. Like you're definitely birdieing this. So I try to play against the course nowadays. And because it's like a girl, like I could have a really good day and then the next day have a terrible day. Like it just depends on like your mood, your feelings, and like how your swing is. It just can depend on a lot of things. So I would personally now say the course.
Thank you.
No, it's an early age. We kind of discussed that, right? And I kind of asked some other parents growing up as well when she was, you know, younger, that same question, right? Like, and a lot of them told me, you know, don't play against other players, right? You play against the course. Yeah, and you put goals and, you know, and you have to strategize on what holes are scoring holes or what holes, like she says, are okay to bogey, right? And, you know, if you par those holes or if you birdie, that's even a big plus, right? Or minus in golf, right? Yeah. But, you know, having that mentally as well at a young age and showing them that, I think is really, really beneficial, right? Because, you know, then if they do bogey or get a double, right, or so forth on those holes, it's not a big deal. You just move on, right?
Another thing that I've noticed, like sometimes I'll be playing out on the golf course and I'll see like a girl stick it to like 6 feet, and then she has it for birdie, and like I know her score, and I'm like, okay, Bella, like I can't. It's not a good idea to go for this pin because there's water on the left side. Like, it's not a good idea. So why am I even going to try to compete against her on that hole? Like, it's part of the long game, and there's still like another day. And so it's just like, it's not a good idea to try to match yourself, because there's some girls that hit it a mile, like further than me, and I don't hit it as far, but I know my game. I'm a good chipping and putting. So I know that I can hang in there. And so it's just like, like everyone's different. So I don't feel good at yourself and like try to.
Now, one thing we are going through right now is when she's in contention, right, to win a tournament, right, to see if she needs to see the leaderboard.
Yeah.
So that's another big kind of question mark that we're going through right now and kind of struggling to see, because she says that no, she doesn't want to know what spot she's in.
Because I just want to play my game. Like, I don't want extra added pressure on
me.
Like, I just go out there, play my game, and just like, if I play my game, then I know I'm going to do
But me,
good.
on the other hand, I think differently. I think that she should know.
You need to go for this pin or not.
That's for basketball. You need to know the score. Right.
If she needs to lay up, or if she needs to go for if she needs to
three.
go for that shot, then she needs to know, right? But that it's kind of back and forth on that. We're kind of struggling
we're like
right now.
testing it out. We're
testing it a little bit. That's good. Now, Bella, who's your mentor?
My mentor, like my coach.
No, like you're like a player that you looked up, that you get a chance to talk to or ask questions. So
growing up, I had Lexi Brooks. She was a really good golfer growing in Kingwood, and so I really looked up to her. She was my babysitter. So I looked up to her in like the tournaments I'm playing in now. She used to play, so I so I think that's like awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
And I would definitely say her. I looked up to her a lot. And another, the twins, what were their names? They also were from Kingwood. The Robert. What are the twins' names? I would always practice at Kingwood. I were there every day.
Oh my God, what is her name?
Yeah. There was these set of twins that every time I was there, they would be the first and last ones to leave. So I looked up to them, like, big time. They were always there practicing. Like, even if somewhere and it was like 100 degrees, they'd be out there. So I definitely look up to them.
So one thing I did when she was young, as a babysitter, I reached out to the high school coach and asked, hey, you have, a model golfer that can babysit for her, that is a golfer, right? So they can talk about, take her to practice and
Bella, you available to babysit?
Right? So that, I think, is beneficial for the younger players as well, because a babysitter is going to, just come in coloring books and stuff like that, right? But if they're a golfer, they have a putter there, right? So they're putting it.
Little contest. Right. Now, Rich, who's your mentor? Who are some of the dads that you get a chance to talk to from time to time to get advice?
Joe Stevens with Alan Stevens was one. Yeah. When Bella is younger than her, but they competed a little bit when they were in juniors, Right. And plus his work ethic, and he went pro as well. Speaking to him about that, we have basketball in common as well, so that's right. We clicked on that aspect, and I asked him some questions, and of course he was saying, look, I'm figuring it out as well, but this is what I did in my career and so forth.
Right.
So I looked up to him and asked him questions, and always kind of picked his brain, so forth. He I could say he kind of mentored me as well on that.
That's important, Rich. A lot of people, I think they don't understand how important a mentor is, to just call and say, hey, what do you think about this tournament? I mean, it's just real important to know about the stars and the points, and which 2-day is good, which 2-day might not be the best. So that's mentoring is really, really good.
I always ask questions to other parents, right?
Right.
I always ask them, especially the top players that were coming up. I would just go talk to the parents, right, and just be like, and be very blunt, and just be like, man, what are you doing? What tournaments are you guys going?
Right.
most of them are all friendly. You know, there were some in the junior, you know, when they're little that are a little bit over the top. You know, but
yeah.
you
That's
always
right.
get those too. But overall, you know, everyone was always willing to talk. And same now. I mean, we have parents come up to us now asking Bella's playing and how's she doing. So I'm always willing to help out and I'm on what, you know, anything, you know, because that was another thing. There were some girls that their parents wouldn't say, right, what tournaments that she was going to play in because they didn't want other girls competing, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
We had a tournament once that Bella, you know, was competing for the junior championship. And the tournament before the junior championship, Bella was already in the championship via points, right?
Right.
Well, we showed up to practice, right? That kind of the tournament right there. And one of the dads got so upset with me and was like, why is she playing in this? She already has points. She's already in it. And I'm like, she's just playing. This is golf. Like she wants to be with friends and come out and have fun. Like we're not here to get points, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So there's always those type of parents as well, right? But overall, it's been a great experience with everyone, you know?
That's good. That's good. Do we have any other questions from our live audience? Any other questions?
One more small question.
Okay.
Bella, are you blades or cavity back, or are you still filling that out for your irons?
Say that again. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Blades.
I'm sorry. Are you blades or cavity back with your irons?
I have to say right now, I'm playing the cavity backs. Yeah. Okay. I'm willing to try the blades. I've tried one blade. It was a Titleist that just came out. I hit it great, but since I have three big tournaments coming up, that I'm kind of scared to switch right now. Mm-hmm. So I think after summer, I will for sure look into maybe changing. And I've heard great things, so it's like I kind of want to, but I'm a little scared right now because I don't want to mess anything up. And so
August, it looks like we're probably going to go to the Titleist facility up over there in Massachusetts and probably go check those, irons out and stuff like that to see if she likes them or not, but
right now I think it's a little too soon.
She's had those clips. She loves the Callaway Epics. I mean, she's she doesn't want to change those woods in the driver. She's set with those, she says.
Hard to change when you're playing good, man. Hard to change. All right.
One last question. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, bro.
So, Bella, you're in a tournament, you hit a bad shot. What are you telling yourself on the next shot? Because right now we get hung up on our bad shots, and that can kill a round for us. So I'll let you go.
So I've been told this. So golf is a game of mistakes. Like, if you really think about it, golf is the game of mistakes. So it's just how you manage those and trying to eliminate those mistakes. So I look at it as like, okay, I hit a bad shot. Like it already happened. Like, what can you do? And now I do these breathing exercises. So like, if I do hit a bad shot, I'll just try to stay in the present. And I'm really trying to focus on that. And the breathing exercises help. And when I'm walking to my ball, I have like a saying or like I do something to like just click me back into focus. And then I hit that shot and like I just really tune in on that shot at that time. And so anything if I'm playing good, like I just try to stay in the present, try not to jump ahead of myself. Another thing is like if you do have a bad hole, like I would not try to force a birdie. Like you just have to let it come. Like you can't just force it because then it might turn into a bogey. And that's what I've noticed too. So I say like staying in the present and maybe have like a saying or like a certain like thing you do that just like clicks you back into focus. And that's what
it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process. I mean, at a young age, guys, it's a process. Let's put it that way, because they're going to get hung up on the bad shots, right? They have that golf.
They're like, you're never going to hit a perfect shot unless you get a home run. But like, still, even then, like it's like golf is a game of mistakes. So like, you just have to learn.
And it's how you recover, right? Like one thing I noticed with Alan Stevens talking about her, right? Like all of a sudden, he was such a great scrambler. I saw her at a tournament, and she just was such a good scrambler. And I told Bella, I said, look, she's not always hitting fairways or greens.
Perfect shots.
Yeah, but she's birdieing and parring these.
She'll be like behind a tree and she'll still birdie. Like
Yeah.
it's just like how she recovers from
Yeah,
from
so
Right.
I
that.
said, so learn that, right? Like it doesn't matter where you're at, you know, you just have to how you manage those shots, right? And like that game we said, play mishits, right?
Right.
Get behind, you know, make those shots that you're thinking, you know,
No,
oh
I
my
would never
God,
be
yeah, I would
there.
never need it or
No.
do it.
No, you
Try it.
won't.
Or left-handed. She had to do a left-handed chip,
Yeah.
right?
Wow. Yeah.
But I practiced it so I felt more comfortable. So when I got up there, I wasn't like freaking out and like, oh my God, like I don't know what to do. Like I felt more comfortable. I was like, okay, like I've done this at practice. I can do it again.
Yeah. Because you never know when you're gonna need that left-handed chip.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, well,
Ball up against a tree and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. And just let us know whenever you get your babysitting rates up. We can drop
All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, listen, Bella, Rich, and the family, man, thank y'all for agreeing to be on the podcast tonight. I think you blessed some juniors tonight. Bella, keep playing good. Keep doing what you're doing. And hopefully we'll see you somewhere this year on the junior circuit. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank
Thank
you,
you for
guys.
having me.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right.